Disappear.
Well, if I can ask y'all a favor, if you have a cell phone, come on, vibrate, please.
We don't want to. This ain't the movie theater.
No, but I'm teaching.
I already turned mine off.
Anywho, I guess I'll start off with the joke. I better than that too. Alright.
Wait, not yet. I'm still trying to almost spill out my food.
Marissa.
Driving along a busy street, a man became aware of an impatient woman who was tailgating him. She was so close that when he had to brake to allow some children to use a pedestrian crossing, she almost crashed into him. Furious at being delayed, she sounded her horn and began waving her fist in a disgraceful exhibition of road rage. Before she could move off, she felt a tap on her window. It was a police officer who ordered her to step out of the car. He then asked her to come down to the station where she was searched, fingerprinted, photographed, and put in a cell. A couple hours later, after vehicle checks had been carried out, she was told that she could collect her valuables and that she was being released without charge. The woman was extremely indignant, and her arrest and demanded an apology. The officer responsible explained the reason for the mistake. You see, ma'am, I pulled up behind you, and while I was looking behind you, I noticed the "Follow Jesus, Not Me" sticker on your bumper, the "God is Love" sticker on your rear window, and the chrome-plated Christian fish emblem on your trunk. Naturally, I assumed that you had stolen the car.
That she had stole the car?
Ever been in a situation where their anger got the best of them?
We all have. ¿Quién ha estado en una situación que el odio le ha ganado a uno?
So I guess I'll start off by the story of Cain and Abel. Who here knows the story?
I read it. It's in the book of Genesis and part of that.
Well, to give you a history lesson, that's the first murder in history ever known.
Yeah. He said that he got taken away by the,
All right. Well, if you have your Bibles, want to read along, it's in Genesis chapter 4. I'm going to read verses 3 through 11.
Genesis 4.
Yes.
3 through 11.
Hold up.
3:11.
Capítulo 4, 3
Oh, Genesis 4.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis 4?
4? I think it's 4:11.
Genesis 4, verses 3 to 11.
Ready? In the course of time, Cain brought some fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord, but Abel brought fat portions from some of his firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must master it." Now Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go out to the field." And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" "I don't know," he replied. "Am I my brother's keeper?" The Lord said, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out from me from the ground. Now you are under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand." Now see, that's a perfect example of someone's anger, or shall I say his jealousy, led to anger issues. Cain and Abel, they were brothers and they should be getting along, but one let his anger get the best of him. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all know some of the things that me and Ruby used to do when we were little kids. We could not get along whatsoever. And most of the time, we let our anger get in the way of our brotherly and sisterly love. One story I remember is like when we were in Big Spring. And guess it happened to be on a Bible study night because I remember going to church later on that night. I went because they had donuts, you know. But before I went to church, Ruby kind of attacked me, and some of these scars I had on my face now, it's because of her. Not all of them, but most of them.
Lying.
And well, that particular day, she scratched out my eye. Well, she didn't scratch out my eye, but scratched toward my eye trying to gouge it out.
Whoa.
And you know, I washed up and all that stuff before church, but I didn't know it was as bad as everyone thought it looked and all that stuff because I wasn't paying attention. That's like a normal thing around the house. So I went to church. I think it was Amana Galindo or something like that. And he was in the middle of a sermon. I was just sitting up in the front, and he happened to notice me. And he told me, "What happened to you?" I said, "Oh, Ruby and I got in a fight." "Oh, okay. Everybody, am I standing up?" Yeah, just stand up, turn around. This is a perfect example of brotherly and sisterly love here. And well, everyone had a
Love,
face, but
like love.
chuckling, but like, God, that's what that's awesome.
How embarrassing.
Yeah.
The other story that comes to mind is back when we were at Emerald Isle. I guess that's when me and Ruby were at our worst, and also when we were at middle school.
Why don't you move?
Those are like good stories that came up. Jerry and I, this is different stuff. But anywho,
Make me bad.
back then Ruby had a very bad attitude. I know I had an attitude, but man, she tried to kill me.
Try to kill me.
It happened to be on Mother's Day. Ruby had bought some flowers for Mom, and she hasn't came home yet, and I heard that she was coming in. So I was going to play a joke, get the flowers and represent it to Mom, and say that I got it for her, but then I was going to later admit that Ruby got it for her. Ruby was about to go get it, she saw me, so look at her eye. Just to look at her eye. She didn't
Scared
give me a
you?
chance to explain. Snatched the flowers, dug her nails deep in my neck.
Oh my goodness.
Pushed me on the floor, said, I don't know what she did, but I said, and I just stood there, I was shocked and pain and all that stuff. And then she went to go represent the flowers to Mom like it was like. Of course, I was enraged. I went to the restroom, washed myself over. Mom ended up, I think Daddy ended up taking Mommy to go get something to eat or something. I was going to the kitchen, we happened to be there. She was talking to Moses at the time, and she was sitting on a stool. I approached her.
Sneak attack.
Snap! Right in her left thigh. She was about to get up, but I guess the pain just hit her. Ooh, I'm gonna kill you. And of course, I was already ready. I said, and they were like Moses right there trying to calm down, being the peacemaker. You know, there's two kinds of pain when
How
it
come we were
comes
never around to see this?
Yeah.
I never did either.
There's two kinds of pain that you deal with, besides physical pain, of course. Is the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. They say the pain of discipline weighs but a few ounces, but the pain of regret, it weighs a ton. The thing about that is because discipline, you're able to learn from your mistakes, or you're corrected from your mistakes. And well, when you're disciplined, you tend to find out the hard way sometimes. But with regret, it stays with you because you start asking them questions later on in life like, what if I did this different? What if I've done that different? But I understand anger, it can be handled, but sometimes it takes time. Also depends on the environment we grew up around and all stuff, because I'm pretty sure I remember, well, yeah, I may not, but when I was in high school, I didn't know I had an attitude problem, but the thing was, I had to have an attitude because when people step to you, if you don't bark back, you can get walked over and all stuff. Well, when I started working at Ocean and all stuff, it was a rare occurrence when a customer wouldn't come and threaten me. And if I didn't do nothing back, you know, basically they think I'm intimidated by them. So what did I do? I let them know what time I get off. I'll be waiting for you. Other times they'll be threatening me. I say, well, I'm right here, why wait? You know? I had to stand up for myself at the same time. I should have handled it differently now that I'm more mature and all stuff. But the thing was, having that attitude going into Marine Corps boot camp, ooh yeah, you tend to learn the hard way. I mean, I guess I could take it as a privilege because I was actually, when I went to boot camp, out of the whole people that were in my platoon, I was the first one to get in trouble. Not only that, thing was, we had orders when we first got there. We were waiting to get breakfast. They said while we were waiting to get breakfast, read up on our general orders. Well, in high school, I was in RTC, so I already knew all the general orders and all stuff, so I tried to get ahead of the pack. And well, I started reading some other articles of war, I believe. So when I was reading that, my squad leader happened to come by and said, "Why aren't you reading general orders?" I said, "I already know them. Our orders were to follow general orders. I mean, to read the general orders." And I caught me with a cocky attitude. "I already know them." So he told me, "Oh, okay." He told the drill instructor on me. You know, I think, snitch.
Yeah.
So the drill instructor came in my face. "What were your orders and all that stuff?" I said, "To read the general orders." "But I already know them, sir." "I don't care if you know them, you better read the general orders." "But sir," like I should just shut up, you know, but I let my attitude get the best of me, of course. Other drill instructor happened to notice I was talking back.
Not our good day.
So what did he do? He came right beside me, started yelling at me. And of course I stepped back, like, "Who the heck you think you are?" and all that stuff. And then the other drill instructor got around me, and then several others happened to step around me. You know, when the drill instructor gets in your face, they spit on you when they talk. You know how degrading that is?
Mm-hmm.
And all I had to do was just shut up, say, "Aye, aye, sir. Yes, sir," and do it. If they were to turn their back on me, I just shut it around and do what I was doing then.
It's funny because I could never imagine you doing something like that.
I know.
I'm like, "Are good, Daniel?"
Well, that's how it was. The thing was, too, like, another example, when I was in boot camp, I was the first one to get punished as well. Well, the thing was, happened to be on duty while everyone went to lunch and I had to get my lunch later on. Every time a drill instructor comes to our barracks, that's a little squad bay with a big room where we have all our bunks and personal stuff. He walks in, I report it in. Now the order was there of everything we had to say, but I memorized it, or so I thought. I messed up. I didn't know I messed up. So the drill instructor said, "Say it again." I reported the same way I reported it. I messed up. He said, "You know the thing right here for you to report in is right there." "Yes, sir, I memorized it though." "Oh, you memorized it, well, how come you're messing up?" I said, "I didn't mess up." Like, "You're trying to tell me you didn't mess up." "That's what I'm saying, sir."
Aww.
"Okay, say it again. If you mess up one more time, you're gonna pay." I said it. He said, "You messed up again. You know where you messed up? You messed up just one word. I missed and." I said, "You're tripping because I said and?" I didn't say and. I said, "He happened to have a binder in his hand." Threw it right at me. Hit me right on my sternum. Knocked my breath out. Grabbed me. Threw me on the floor. He said, "You better stand up and report in right now." I couldn't say nothing. Oh, you don't want to say nothing, huh? He picked me up, sat me against the wall, started telling me to do certain exercises. Tried to do jumping jacks first. After 5 minutes, I was dead. And I started doing push-ups. Couldn't really do push-ups that well. And well, by that time, everybody started coming in from lunch. Everyone just looking at me like drenched in sweat, like, what did he do? And then I happened to get, he handed me a towel, make it straight. I had to make it straight with the clothespin on there, had to stand straight up. I wasn't going to stand straight up. I was shaking and all that stuff after 3 minutes or so. I couldn't get it straight. So what did he do? He wet all the floor. The squad bay. He told me to use that towel, dry up all the floor. But it just wasn't the towel. He got my foot locker, put it on the towel, and I had to push my whole foot locker, mopping up all the room. And that room is not small.
Like a warehouse.
There's over 100 people in there, so you know it's pretty
Like
big.
a warehouse.
So there I am, pushing the thing. Probably got around, I think, like 75 times, and that water wasn't going away. So here I am, in the middle of a situation because I let my attitude get the best of me. So if you don't want to learn the hard way, keep your attitude under control. Now it says here in Hebrews 12:11. No discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. It's painful. But afterward, there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. I learned to bite my tongue that day. Every time I got mad, I said, aye, aye, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. I did not talk back. And I still got punished, of course, but it wasn't because of my attitude, because I was doing something wrong. It had to be corrected. Now, it also says here in 1 Corinthians 3:3, for you are still controlled by your sinful nature. You are jealous of one another and quarrel with each other. Doesn't that prove that you are controlled by your sinful nature? Aren't you living like people of the world? Ruby and I's rivalry was a perfect example of that. Now, let's see. I would like to read from Romans 12:12. This is off from the New Living Translation, so it might not be the same wording as you all's. It says, don't copy the behavior of the customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. Now, as I'm maturing spiritually and mentally, I started to learn how to control my tongue. I'm happy to say, like over the last 9 or 10 months, I probably said 2 cuss words the whole time. Those ain't very bad words. I said the ASS word, but that was part of a joke, so it wouldn't have been funny if I didn't say it. But I would like you all to know and pay attention to how much you actually cuss and all that stuff. If you don't cuss around certain people, pretend that you're around them all the time. And believe me, you'll find ways to substitute those cuss words for other words. Sometimes it may be funny words. People may end up liking you more and respecting you more. But usually when you have an attitude, that goes hand in hand with your anger. And when you're angry, you tend to cuss. When you tend to cuss, you tend to offend people. So if you don't want to make people pissed off and put yourself in a situation that you probably had no clue you're going to get into, learn to control your tongue. If you see you're getting angry, walk away from the situation. If you can't walk away from this situation, I suggest you do some praying. Because I'm pretty sure God will hear your prayer. He'll see the situation you're in. He'll help you out of that situation. Now, we are all in control of our responses. If you can't control your responses, you need help. I'm pretty sure everyone here is willing to help one another. If you're for some reason embarrassed, don't be. We all been there at one point or another, and we probably know better how to handle things than you do. All right? Let's see. It says here, James 4:7. So humble yourselves before God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. A perfect example of that is when Jesus, when he went to the desert and was tempted for 40 days and for 40 nights. 40 days and 40 nights. How would you feel if someone keep me mugging you every morning when you woke up? Wouldn't you want to hit him or something?
Eventually.
You think Jesus wanted to punch Satan in the face? I know I would have. True. I don't know, but Jesus was a perfect man, and he's a perfect example of what we should do. He quoted scripture to the devil. Yes, I'm pretty sure Satan is aware of all those scriptures. He knows the Bible. I'm pretty sure way better than anyone in this world because it was there when it was written. But don't let him twist the Bible around on you either. That's why they want us to read the Bible, so we could quote the scripture back to him, and we could end up trampling over him every time. Now, it says here, I'm sorry, let me give you an example of one of my sad stories, I guess you could say. In the Marine Corps, I I had a lot of lonely nights to myself. Sometimes I was able to handle it by writing poetry, writing letters, and other times I'll just be down and out. I'll drink. I didn't drink so much I get drunk, but it just made me think even, I wonder why no one pays attention to me. I wonder if they notice if I killed myself or not. Now, I'm not saying I didn't contemplate suicide, you know, I just didn't want to kill myself because that's selfish to me, if you ask me. When someone kills themselves, they're basically just thinking of themselves. I understand that you might be in a hard situation, but you gotta understand the situation that you put others in when you kill yourself. They may be put into a deep depression because they could no longer see you. You may have been a provider to them, but now they can't be provided for and they gotta worry about other things besides their death. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on when you lose somebody. Now, we react on emotional impulses, but when we do that, we make poor choices. Now, I'm not saying I made poor choices. I did not make poor choices in my life. I have, and I learned from them. I also learned from other people's mistakes as well, and that's what we all should do. Learn from other mistakes so we won't make the same mistake. Now, don't try to run from everything that's hard. Don't take the easy way out. What you should do is face them so you won't have to deal with them later on. Now, what I've noticed is a lot of the times that we're tempted at our weakest point. And we are also tempted in areas where we're weakest in. I guess you could say one of my weaknesses was women. Women always will bring me down. Women will sometimes use me. I learned from that, kind of. But, you know, I learned to actually love a woman. Excuse me. And I learned to trust a woman. When you try to do better things that way, things come hand in hand, and that helps you out for the better. Now it says here in 1 Corinthians 10:13.
Hold on. This is like done with the time. Is it going to be able to record again?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me record it again.
Okay.